together. You have Kathy and Kyle, who have obviously that famous sister dynamic.
Listen, I mean, I'm more excited. It's the only franchise I'm excited about at all, period, including everything. I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. Is
I mean,
Boz going to live up to the hype?
you have a lot to cover, David.
And by
I
the
think
way,
it might so
Camille,
far.
Donatacci's bopping around over there. We got Donatacci back. I don't think we're going to see Miss Richards back. And I don't mean Kim. I mean, I think the upside down coat, the weed party. I don't think they've asked Denise to participate. But this Donatacci, she keeps commenting on Twitter every season. There's something about her that must not mind popping in and popping out because Camille is seen filming.
Camille, formerly Camille Grammer, now Camille.
Donatacci, or what is it?
No, it's not.
Camille
It's
Meyer. Camille Meyer.
gorgeous in real life. I do have some inside scoop about Denise Richards.
Talk to me.
She will not be back. I can guarantee 110% she's not from filming. They are done with her.
Why?
I just, look, I know somebody close to the cast out here
Sure.
in LA, and they just said they wanted her back. They tested it and it was a disaster. She can't do any comebacks. She completely falls apart when these women come for her. It's not working and it's done.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And not for nothing, I'll say it again. They don't want you sloppy, and I do think now I told you that I know a lot of people that attended remember that dinner with Bethany and like
Yeah.
Jenny Garth and Raquel? Well, we talked about it on this podcast. Denise Richards is not in that picture. Now, I have many people that I am friends with that went to that, and I have many people I know that are working at the Bel Air Hotel. I was told by multiple sources that Miss Richards showed up for Bethany's dinner, was invited, which makes sense. She was on Bethany's podcast like 3 times, and Miss Richards was not in the picture because she physically removed herself, like came basically was as bad as that dinner party that we saw and had enough sense to say, Uber, yeah, and then just got herself in an Uber, like on whatever vodka, whatever it was. There was a lot of substances in Miss Richards' system at that dinner. That's what I was told by multiple sources. So I think that's another reason, right? Like they don't want that showing up in filming.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, that ship is completely sailed. I think they're over it. They tried it. It didn't look great. And I think they're moving on. Bozama sounds different. I like somebody different in the mix. Again, you guys know this. I didn't think Anne Marie was bad. I actually wanted to see her one more season, but obviously that's not going to happen.
And let me tell you about Jennifer Tilly. She was on a show. She was on Jeff Lewis' show. Now, let me tell you about Jeff Lewis's viewers. Jeff Lewis's listeners are like my listeners when I talk about New Jersey. Now, I don't care. You're not going to scare me because I don't give a fuck. When you live life and you don't care what people think, it is freeing. I mean, I could be pathetic like Kelly Dodd. Kelly Dodd's going to freak out, by the way, because I'm going back on Elizabeth Vargas's podcast and I think she wants to talk about Kelly. So Kelly's head is going to explode.
Also, I ride for you. So, and I'm so close to jumping in, but I've had like so much something about her drama. So I was like,
I
maybe
don't even care, but it's just, she's a miserable. Can you listen, when you wake up in the morning and your happiness depends on whether someone says something good about you or something you don't like, that is a miserable life. Kelly Dodd is a miserable, miserable human being. She ain't going to be happy when I go back on Vargas's podcast though. So, but regardless of that, what the hell was my damn point? I actually had a nice point to make.
Well, Jennifer Tilly, you were talking about.
She went on Jeff Lewis's podcast in the past, Friends with Sign, and Jeff's audience, the way that my audience goes psychotic when I talk Jersey, Jeff's audience goes psychotic all the time. They either love you or they hate you. Well, they had a lot to say about Miss Tilly, and Miss Tilly was overwhelmed by the negative receipt. She received negativity and she did not handle it well. She was not, I've from multiple sources that Miss Tilly was, and it's like, girl, when you're on the actual show. No, Jeff's audience is like mine when it comes to Jersey. They get nasty. And Miss
I know. I
Tilly,
Sarah from Texas. I've
right?
Sarah's a friend. Yeah, I've seen what they're like.
Well, I don't know. I didn't read. I don't follow Jeff's show, nor am I going to start listening to his show. But they came from Miss Tilly. And the rumor is from multiple sources, Miss Tilly did not hold up well with seeing the comments about her because this wasn't Chucky and this wasn't Chucky Part 2. And this wasn't like these conventions that she goes to. And this wasn't the Bel Air Hotel with Sutton Strayek. This was the real world that you've stepped into. And she hasn't even stepped into the world now. So I don't know what's going to happen with Miss Tilly when she's on the damn show because, girl, lots of people will probably love you, but not all. That's how it works. So how is she going to handle what's to come?
Well, I hope she's figuring that out now because it's probably only going to get worse. And you got to realize it's a game. And Jeff loves to stir the pot. Jeff
Ooh,
loves
yes.
And I love Jeff. I mean, Jeff at BravoCon, I think I appreciated more. I really realized like Jeff kind of does what we do. I think Jeff really is the snarky audience member that's calls BS on these people and calls out the people that are boring, despite the fact that, yeah, you like them in real life. And so I get Jeff, but Jeff knows what he's doing. And you gotta realize it's a game. You've got to realize it's a game,
Again,
and you just turn your phone off, and all these people that come for you
who
are all the people that
cares?
wait in line for a photo with you at BravoCon. So it's just part of it. And I think now the internet's sassy. They like it when you're sassy back. Sometimes I tell people to fuck themselves on, and some of them like it. It's
They
just
like it. And you know what it is? To me,
yeah.
it's like this is the actual job description, like Kelly Dodd, whoever else it is. Like, if you can't handle this, you got to get, I mean, this is the job. I don't care. I really don't. All I do is I literally go straight to the numbers. If I have a whole day, oh, you hate, I'm like, the numbers are fine. So I don't really care. I really do feel this is the job. Like when you hear someone Kyle had a bad season or this, it's like, this is the job. There's no, who was it that said, okay, Karl Lagerfeld. I'm going to quote Karl Lagerfeld now. I'm going to broadly, he said, someone was talking about fame and I'm not egotistical enough to say I am famous. I'm just saying there is some level of being in the public eye here. I mean, there's a million people listening. So, but Karl Lagerfeld said, here's the thing about fame. You can't buy the butter. Wait, hold on. He said something like, you can't buy the butter. He said, you can't have the butter and have the money for the butter. So either you have the money for the butter in your pocket or you hand it, he's French. So of course we relate to butter. He said, you either have the money for the butter or you have the butter. You can't have the money for the butter and the butter. Now, to your point, we were